about certain topics which are actually called how to create a file and how exactly what are the operations we are going to perform with file, and as well how many types of files are there and what do you mean by file object. So there are a lot of things that we have gone through, right? Okay, so on a glance, just I go with certain things because we had into a certain gap, small gap over there. Okay, so just a small revision and then I continue. I'll be continuing the next things. See, basically I said a file is a medium of storage. It's a storage of which the content can be stored. The content can be of multiple types. In general, we call there are 5 types are there: text, image, audio, video, and animation or virtual reality. And but coming to the programming standards, we have only 2 format of files in which we are going to handle it well. The one we call it as readable and non-readable. The readable is the one we call it as a text. The non-readable is the one which we call it as binary. Yes. So the text file is a format in which we are going to encode entire content into readable formats, in which conversion is must. The conversion is required because, see, whenever a particular file is created into a memory, the memory is going to understand which is in the format of binary. But when it comes to the user understandable format, it should be in a high level language, which we call it as either English or any of the scripted languages. So these languages are the one the user can understand, but a machine can understand only the binary one. So the content what stores into the memory needs to be converted into user understandable format while storing it or while reading it. So the conversion is must and should, in which the time consumption is going to be more compared to the binary format. But there is another format called as a binary. The binary is a type of a format in which stores as same as of the storage happens into the memory. So the memory follow the standard of storage techniques, and the same techniques is being handled by the programs, right? So this is what we call it as binary format. So the performance point of view, text file or binary file? It's a question for you. Reply. As a performance point of view, text file or binary file? Which should be the better one? Performance. Yes. But when it comes to storage, I mean user understandable, text format. See, performance point of view, the binary format. The user understandable format, the text format. It's all about the choice what you are going to choose with. Okay, so that is a one. Now, by understanding this concept, we have gone through the next things. I mean to say, some built-in functionalities. Of course, we take help of a file. Using this file, what we can do is that we are going to store our data permanently onto secondary storage, When we wanted to store our data into the secondary storage, it means that we need to follow certain procedures. What are the procedures we are supposed to follow is a question. The procedure is something that the first we need to perform 2 operations. The one we call it as opening a file. The first is called opening a file, and the last one is called closing a file. The operations what we are going to perform is going to happen in between this open and close. Okay, so what are the operations we are going to perform in between this open and close? We can write a data, we can read a data, we can manipulate the data. There are just 3 things: write, read, manipulate. These manipulations are of 2 words. I already said you what are the 2 words are there in manipulation. Of course, we change it by replacing the old with the new, or adding extra to an existing content. I use 2 words. What are those? What are those? The 2 operations particularly used for manipulations. I get to know, please. I guess confused. Okay, not a problem. I have used a word called as append update. Append update. See, these are the two common words in which performs particularly in a different action. I gave an idea that I wanted to change a phone number from one number to another number. Think the student records has been maintained in a college. When the student records has been maintained, in that I'll be providing my contact number, in which in the next few days or just I have changed my phone number from the old number to the new number. In that case, what we do is we erase the old number with a new number in the database. This procedure is called update. This procedure is called update. But there is one more thing that is called append. What is the concept of append in the sense is the data what we have already has it. For that, I am going to add some additional data. For example, we people are going to pay the fees in number of installments. So there is a first installment record has been added. Now the second installment payment has been done so that the next entry is being added. So it doesn't mean that the first record is erased and the second record is added. No, the first record is existed, the second record is added again the third, again the fourth, this goes on. Reason why? Because at a one particular point of time, we people can we can receive the list of information saying that what are the transaction took place on the particular dates, how many transaction has taken, on what dates, and what are the actual payments is being done for a particular installment number. Okay, so all these details will be maintained so accurately using the concept of what? Append. So append is different from update. But whereas a create and read or write is a common words, not a problem. But when it comes to the word called as update and append, these are the two important words that we need to remember with. Clear? Okay, so that. So if I wanted to perform all these operations, the first thing is that we need to open a file. How to open a file? I have already shown you certain syntax. Of course, don't worry. Again, we'll be going up with that things. Okay. So whenever we wanted to open a file, there are three things that we need to take care. Three things we need to take care. The one, where exactly the file needs to be located. Where exactly the file needs to be located. Located in the sense, where should we place it? Okay. We need to place a file in a particular drive, in a particular directory with a particular name, or in a particular drive with a particular name. That's pretty important. So we are going to call them as a general path, absolute path. General path in the sense, from where exactly your application is loaded. From where exactly your application is loaded. Okay, so that is called a general path. Means application will be installed somewhere in a particular in-depth folders. For example, in C drive, you are going to install the softwares, but the softwares are not installed directly in the C drive. In the C drive, there will be a folder called program files. In a program files, there will be a particular folder for each and every application. In that application, there will be a subfolder, something called as system, something called as, I don't know. There will be some different hierarchy for different softwares. So when a different folders are being created, in that particular folder, if the application icon is there, there exactly your file is created. Because it is something like, I have started from this particular time, so I'll be creating a file at this particular time. The same way, the time refers to as a folder. Now from where, in which folder I have started, in that folder only the file is created. That is called general path or generic path. General path or generic path. But I will say it as an absolute path. What do you mean by absolute path? Absolute in the sense, not the one in which you are going to create a file, but I am going to specify the address. I am going to specify the address. In that address itself, you create the file with a given name. So this is called absolute. Absolute why? I'm giving you the path, I'm giving you the file name, I'm giving you the extension, and I'm giving you the operation mode, what needs to be done. This particularly what I'm going to provide is called absolute. Then you can ask me, sir, what is a standard of writing a programs? I mean, in programming standard, whether generic path or absolute path, always the standard is followed is the absolute path. Why? You are 100% clear that where you are actually storing a file. You are absolute clear that from where you are going to open the file, and you are absolute clear that in that file what are the operations you are trying to do. Everything you will be having a knowledge. So that is what a concept called absolute path. And there is one more thing that we need to know about mode. Means, as already said, the file you are going to open in which mode, whether in a read mode or in the write mode. If it is write mode, you are eligible to only write, not read. If it is in the read mode, you are eligible to only read, but not write. But I want to perform something like I wanted to perform both read and as well as write. Then what can I do? There we have an option called append mode. Why? I would read existing and add extra. I would read existing and add extra. So this is what we call them as append mode. Got it? Just a minute. Okay. So the read mode, write mode, and append mode. Read mode is used for only what? Reading the content. Write mode is used for what? Only writing the content. Append mode is used for what? Both read and write operation. Okay. So there we have another two words are there. The T and B. T refers to text mode. B refers to binary mode. T refers to text mode. B refers to binary mode. So these are. So to open a file, as I said, three things are required. The one is path. The second one is mode. Second one is mode. There is a third one, we call them as a encode format, or we call them as a Unicode format. What is this Unicode? This format, the third format, is required only when you are preferring with the text mode file. Preferring with the text mode file. What is this concept? This concept is something that which you are going to create a text file. You are going to create a text file with Unicode standards. Unicode standards. So that is a predefined text. You just need to copy and paste. No alterations is required in that. No alterations are required in that. That is the one we need to understand. Is it clear? Okay. So three things. Of course, now we'll go with the syntax. Not only about knowing how to open a file, we learn how to close a file, and we learn how to read a file, and we learn how to read it in different formats, and as well how to write it in different formats too. Okay, so that is one we will be having it. So now let's go to the concept one by one. Okay, so yes, here we are actually mentioning the concept that how exactly the file can be opened. Okay, see, there are two methods I have been presented on the screen saying that F is equals to open, right? What is the F refers to? What is that file? Sorry, F refers to. Of course, we are working with a file, but F refers to an.